The multifamily home purchase, being in a market like Rhode Island with an abundance of multifamily homes because of the industrial boom we had here and the housing needed to house all those workers. We've got a lot of pockets all around the state, which is beautiful, with 2, 3, 4 family homes, even more. And it's quite the opportunity.
Certainly, there's a lot of investors out there, right, that are looking to make a purchase of multifamily properties because the rents that are being generated right now are pretty aggressive. So we're seeing a good return on investment for investors who are purchasing multifamilies. But I see an opportunity, and I get a lot of opportunity for first-time home buyers who will actually take advantage of FHA financing, Emilio. So they only have to put down 3.5%, and they can buy a 2 or 3 family property with the expectation that they are going to live there, right? They have to occupy one of the units as mandated in FHA, and then they can actually defray their cost of living by collecting the rent from those other, rental units, the 2 or 3 other parties that are, in the building with them. So I think that's a really great opportunity. And then generally what will happen is that someone might refinance that transaction, that particular property, keep it as an investment property, and then go on to purchase a different single family home.
Another group too, Melissa, that really, like, we hardly talk about doing this is baby boomers. They move in, right? So think about this, right? If you're a baby boomer, here's a power play for you, right? You want to relocate, you want to move down south, but you miss Rhode Island in the summer, so you want to come up here and be with your family. We have a lot of clients that do this. They'll buy a multifamily home, Melissa, and they'll live on the first floor. So they have one level living. They have one of their tenants shovel during the winter when they're not there. They have someone maintain that property. So it's all the wonderful condo lifestyles that you can get with no bills. You're living here in Rhode Island virtually free, and you could be a part-time resident and live down south and pay way less taxes.
One of the things, Emilio, I think as a buyer of a multifamily is you have to determine or understand that you can negotiate the terms of the occupancy. So if you're looking at the property and you're interested in making a purchase, you have to determine with your realtor's assistance what particular portion of the property you're planning to occupy. But if there are tenants that are there with active lease agreements, those lease agreements will survive. So it's really an important understanding at the very beginning to decide whether or not those tenants have the right to stay at the property, and or are they expressing any interest in terminating their tenancy and maybe vacating early. So there's a couple of different avenues that can be explored.
Do you have any concern with the amount of tenants that are currently not paying their rents, and all these landlords stuck with the bills? Do you see any concern in the future for a wave of potential domino effect of foreclosures?
I do, Emilio. I think it's going to be a matter of time. I don't know if the values are going to sustain the stability that we've been having and been seeing. So, cash out refinances scare me a little bit because it's very reminiscent of 2005, 6, 7, 8. And then, of course, we saw all the wave of short sales and foreclosures. So for me, that does make me particularly nervous. I know that there are a number of tenants who are having difficulty in paying their rent and maintaining. So that definitely does put the landlord in a place of financial hardship, because the reality is, folks, you should be qualified to purchase this property to cover all of the costs, regardless of the rental income. The rental income is kind of gravy, and that's the right way to do it. And I know not every lender is going to qualify them that way. Not every buyer is going to budget that way. So just because you've been qualified to purchase the property and, cover the entire cost on your own doesn't mean that you're actually living within that same financial means structure, because you may have bought a car or bought a timeshare or done something else with your monies where now you're not really banking on having to cover that cost.